10:40, because Ben has to go elsewhere in case there are any questions that we have. So over to you, Ben, on
Okay.
105.
I log on.
I was kind of confused. I was leaving, but I couldn't understand how you said that time, so I didn't dare leave my seat.
That was actually good.
Yeah, what if there are people following along at home who thought
They'll have to,
they had 20 minutes break?
they'll have to jump back and review the, on
Just
YouTube.
hit rewind.
Yeah, hit rewind. Hit rewind.
You might be coming up with a different nickname for this.
At the rate we're going, we're not really starting on testing until, 22, so.
I'll set that.
Great, thank you. All right, sharing the screen.
So you both got those coffees, you're gonna pass them.
Oh, yeah. Hey, good morning, committee. For the record, Ben Dobrodrasky from the Office of Legislative Counsel. Before the committee is the most recent amendment to H 105, which really only has to do with the reporting aspects. So you'll see changes to subsection I that annually, beginning on July 1st, 2026, the Office of the Attorney General and other entities as needed shall submit a written report to the House and Senate committees on judiciary related to impaired driver violations under this section, containing the following: the number of persons referred to the Youth Substance Awareness Safety Program, the ages of the persons referred to the program, the number of persons who successfully complete the program, the number of persons who fail the program, and the number of persons who serve suspensions imposed by the Judicial Bureau after failing the program. You will see a new section 2, which is session law for those outcome measures that were discussed yesterday. So for the first report submitted pursuant to the subsection that we just went over, the Office of the Attorney General, in collaboration with the Vermont Statistical Analysis Center, which is the formal name of the crime research group, and others as needed, shall propose outcome measures to assess impaired driver violations. It's just a renumbering of the other sections, but nothing substantive for the committee to review. Any questions?
Questions? At this again. I don't have any questions for right now. Anybody else with questions? It just so happens that Willa has come in, so.
Want me to scroll back up so that she can see the report?
Willa, have you seen the language?
Yeah. You see it?
So.
So Willie, just so you know, so there's the changes to subsection I and then a new section 2 just about those outcome measures. So it's in session law. It doesn't make sense for it to go into.
So Willa, can I have you join us in the witness so we can make you very official here?
Well, if you want, I'll just leave my computer up so you can scroll through it. I will bet that.
Friday.
So I guess I had a particular question on the page 14 to make sure that the language, and I'm looking at lines 6 and 7. To assess impaired driver violations, is that outcome measures to assess impaired driver violations? Is that make sense as far as what we're after there, or do we need to anything else with that? I know I'm putting you on the spot, but
The report, Willa Farrell, Attorney General's Office, for the record. Just so I'm clear, Representative Lalonde, so this would only relate to the .02 violations,
Right.
the way this is written. So I think that is clear. They're related to impaired driving.
it's a little vague, but.
Yeah.
Like,
Um,
I offer a suggestion. No drafts person, if that's the term one uses, but could one just reference the subsection B? The first-
Well, I think the reason why I didn't include that is because of the cross references study in VSA 656I, because those reports are limited to the point of view violations. So, I mean, you could do it, but I view it as redundant.
Or up above.
So, yeah, maybe it's fine in that we have the pursuant to 7 VSA section 656I, that it's kind of related to that reporting, which does give a little bit more detail. So I guess I'm looking for more to assess the impact or the success, but I don't want to just assume a success of the program, of sending more individuals to the program. That's kind of what I think we're trying to do. Is this clear enough that that's what this is asking for? Yeah.
Well, so I guess the question that I had, that I thought was the wishes of the committee, was the outcome measure is to assess not just the program, but also the length of the suspensions.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's why I kind of worded it that way. We could get more specific, but that was to be sort of all encompassing.
Okay. So I think it's just that you have to kind of walk back to section I, which talks about, under this section. And so this section is obviously this whole.
Right. I mean, I could make a more specific cross-reference if that would be helpful. I mean,
You think, so you'll be working presumably on that?
I mean, maybe what would be helpful is if I just repeat my understanding to make sure what the committee wants, that report is focused on the 0.02 violations specifically. And a particular interest in terms of the work with Prime Research Group would be, is there a way to determine the effectiveness of the length of suspension?
But also, and the program itself is.
Program itself, yes.
It's to.
So two, because the program has no control over length of suspension, that's set in statute. So that's one aspect, but then program efficacy, which is our responsibility.
Okay, and Ben is putting some language in right now. I know that we usually try not to make Ben.
Yeah, draft with an audience.
But Ben actually does do this quite often. Other legislative council not as keen to. Okay. That's more specific, right?
That's very clear.
Okay. Yeah.
Because we want to know, is referring these youth to the substance abuse program effective?
Yes.
A way to, address the issue. And we're trying to figure out the length of suspensions, and we were basically not really having a lot of data, so we want to know. Yeah. And so I think with this, yeah. And then just one other question.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think it's for Ben. Does the Judicial Bureau impose the suspension, or does the DMV?
they would order it. And then so my view is that they impose it and then it's administered by the DPP.
Okay. I'm just looking at the language in 5.
Yeah, no, I mean, but the way that this would go is that if they fail out of the program, then it goes to the Judicial Bureau for an adjudication.
Yeah.
And so they're imposing the suspension, and the DMV is the one effectuating it.
Who effectuates? Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Any other questions on that language? Or in I as well? Or?
My one suggestion would be, instead of beginning July 1, that it maybe be October 1. So
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Like a little time to,
Right, we needed to, for subsection I
So we begin.
and for section 2 would need to have a different, effective date, right?
or even if if 2026 would allow, this would go
Oh,
in.
yeah, annually beginning on July 1st,
Yeah.
26, so that,
Yeah, we could do that in multiple ways. I mean, we could put the date into the statute itself, or we could delay the effective date of this particular subsection to go into effect July 1st or whatever the committee would, of 26 or whatever the committee would prefer.
oh, I see, but you're saying, all right, annually beginning on, we just want to change the July 1st to,
Yeah.
yeah, okay, yeah, no.
And the reasoning for that was there's like a delay in the data being reported to you. It's like,
Yes.
it's due at the end of June, but then
Right.
by the time you actually get it, so asking it for July 1st, yeah.
What we give people, it's actually give us the data by the end of, so the end of the fiscal year. Then we ask that people say their reports are complete by July 15th. And then I have a colleague who, we were just talking about this earlier today. She looks at the data and she emails people and says, oh, you missed something here. And then they go and find it. So gives us a little time to make sure the data is as complete as.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
All right, any other questions for Ben on language?
So I make the changes on the screen. You want just one last look over before I finalize it and have it edited for one?
Sure. But probably you want to send, well, to get it finalized for 1 o'clock, you probably want to tell them right away. So,
Well, I've already kind of told them what's going on.
oh, okay. Yeah, that would be fine. We'll give everybody until 11 o'clock if they want to look at the language. What they need, if there's any types for it, but you're gonna.
Yeah, well, the typos, don't worry about it.
Yeah, no, I
It's just
think
that- that's
you're fine to send it.
substance.
I think you're fine to send it. Okay. So, all right, so we will adjourn though until 11.